My name is Michael Miller, and in this installment we're going to talk about how to negotiate a job offer. There are obviously a lot of moving parts and variables to job offers. They're going to be quite different from one company to the next and from one line of work to the next. So the best I'm able to do in an online video is give you some good generic advice, but I'll break it down into 5 steps for you. First one is going to be some gathering of some information. Second one's going to be to understand how the company is calculating the salary that they're offering. Third one is going to be to create value in yourself. Fourth one is going to be to examine all of the different parts of a job offer. And the fifth one is going to be to communicate your needs and expectations. First step, this gathering of information should start ideally before you even apply for the job, before you are having any sort of communication with the job or recruiters. I would start with some online searches. There's some salary calculators out there that'll tell you generally what the going rate is for your line of work, depending on the source information that they use. If it's Bureau of Labor Statistics, a lot of time it's a little bit out of date, but it'll give you a general idea. Also, if you are moving as part of your job search, I would find a good relocation calculator, which will tell you the difference between a salary in Omaha and a salary in Los Angeles. Due to the cost of living, they're quite different, obviously. In terms of other resources I would search on, I'd look for salary forums. You can find other job candidates discussing offers they received for your line of work at particular companies. You can also find employees that anonymously gave information on what they were earning for your line of work at particular companies. All of these little bits and pieces of information you should gather to give yourself as clear of an idea as possible of what the market is actually paying for people doing what you want to do. Now, the second step in terms of understanding how the company calculates its job offer starts with you just understanding that it varies quite a bit from company to company. Some companies will pay annually for an outside firm to conduct surveys of what their competitors are paying for their employees. Some companies will come up with a metric and calculate people in your line of work with X number of years experience, and this degree and that degree should be paid within this range. They'll be particularly strict maybe on everybody has to fall within that range. Some companies are going to just simply take a look at the current salaries of the department you want to join, or the team that you're joining, and make sure that you're not outside of what others doing your job are paid currently. Some are simply going to go off of what they feel is the value that they see in other candidates and what they feel the market rate is for your line of work, while others still might simply take a look at what you are currently paid and make an appropriate increase in their minds. So it's going to vary quite a bit, and there is some pretty good and old advice out there that you shouldn't be the first one to bring up salary when you're in the interview process. But if you're dealing with an outside recruiter or even a corporate recruiter, at some point they typically do ask you at least what you're currently making, if not asking you what your salary expectations are. And that'll present you with the perfect time to ask them how this company calculates their job offers, because some are more flexible on the salary than others. And gathering that information at that point is not only appropriate but important for you to do, that you'll see later on. Now, the third step in this process is maybe the most important. By interviewing well, by showing enthusiasm, by understanding that ideal profile that they're looking for and showing how you match that profile, you are creating value in yourself, not only to be the person or the candidate that they're going to offer the job to, you're also hopefully creating enough value that they want to make the best possible job offer to you because they really want to land you and have you join their team. So through the other videos in this video series, I would make sure that your skills are as sharp as possible, that you understand the job and the profile as much as possible, and therefore you create as much value in you as a potential employee as possible. Now, the fourth step can get a little bit tricky. Again, if you understand that this company doesn't vary a whole lot with the salary portion, or even if they do, I would examine all aspects of the offer, and that includes the working schedule, the paid time off, the benefits, the 401k. If your line of work has continuing education, perhaps you can negotiate that the company pays for that or pays an increased portion for that. Perhaps they'll let you work from home partially. Whatever it is that's important in your life, I would examine all aspects of the job offer, not just the salary. If you know that the company is pretty strict on the salary and you feel you've created a lot of value, then you might take a look at some of those other things that would be important in your lifestyle or just in general important for your career. And another aspect that I think a lot of candidates overlook is the fact that you are obviously throughout your career gaining skills through every job that you do, and therefore creating future value for future jobs that you apply for. So one of the things you can also negotiate is additional responsibility, something that you know if you have experience 3-4 years down the road, you're going to be able to parlay that experience into a better job with much higher pay, put yourself and your career in a much better position. So there's a lot of things for you to look at besides salary that you should be able to negotiate depending on how much value you create. Now, the fifth step is to communicate, usually with a recruiter, sometimes with the hiring manager, but I would communicate the information that you've gathered in terms of the salary that you see out there that the market is paying for somebody with your level of experience. I would let them know your expectations on all aspects of the job offer. Like I said, maybe additional responsibilities or PTO or whatever it is. And then I would lay your cards on the table once we get to the job offer so they have an idea of what your expectations are. A lot of people don't like to lay all their cards on the table, and that's fine. But once an offer comes to you and you feel you want to negotiate and make a counter offer, my strong suggestion is to make a commitment that goes hand in hand with your counter offer. So if I'm receiving a job offer and I think I can get more on the salary or some other aspect of the offer, I will go back to them and say, this is what I want, but here's my commitment. If you give it to me, I will start. Here's the start date. Here's my commitment. Here's what I will bring. So you are telling them, I'm not going to go back and forth 100 times. I'm not playing games with you. I am accepting your offer for employment, but I would like you to increase your offer in this area for me. I hope that this, albeit generic information, does help you. If you just follow those 5 steps, I believe it will increase the odds that you're going to get a much better offer and feel, again, happier with accepting the position. I hope you actually get the offer that you want, things go well, and your career continues to progress. Thanks for watching, and please, as always, share this and the other videos in the series with your professional network.